All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our Saturday night's main event review series. It's going to be Saturday night's main event 18. Your host, Mike.
Frank, let's get into it, man. This was right around Survivor Series 80. As a matter of fact, I think this aired a couple of nights after Survivor Series, but they never mentioned Survivor
Yeah, they
Series.
don't reference it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was originally November 16th, 1988. They aired it 10 days later on the 26th in Sacramento, California. Roughly 15,900 on hand for this one. Vince McMahon, Jesse Ventura doing the commentating. Of course, Jesse said claiming to take the lead because they were in Hollywood country,
Yeah.
and he was the Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
Gotta love Jesse.
I mean, they weren't in Los Angeles though.
No, they were
So
in Sacramento.
right, it's a little bit away. So I don't
No,
know about how
he
it's
according to
California.
him, according to him, anything in
Yeah.
California is Hollywood.
This is the Ultimate Warrior's debut as far as wrestling, right? Because I think
Hmm.
he did show up on Saturday night's main event before. I think he helped. Did he help Hacksaw? He helped
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there you go.
against Andre.
Yeah, there you go. So this was his debut match. Uh,
Not much of a debut, really. I mean, it was
Super Ninja, man. He's against the Super Ninja.
yeah, Rip Oliver. That's who was under the
Yeah.
mask there.
IC champion, Ultimate Warrior.
Defending the title against Super Ninja in a 2 minute, 11-second match. Of course, Mr. Fuji's building him up, going, "Oh, he knows the seven arts.
Yeah.
He's got this. He's got that."
Fuji
All
was
these.
good though. Fuji was good at putting him over.
Fuji was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I love Mr. Fuji. And I mean, this match, you blinked, it was over. Warrior wins. Warrior kind of laid quite a few shots on this guy,
It's a little stiff.
and
A little stiff.
yeah, it was. But still, it was good to see him wrestling on Saturday Night Main Event. And his first live title defense went successful. Obviously, it would. Super Ninja's not getting over. That was pretty much a one and done for
Oh,
that guy. Warrior gets the win, and that was it on that one. It
yeah.
really wasn't much to it. He just literally beat the crap out of the
That's it.
guy.
That's what we want to see anyway. So
Exactly.
just Warrior kill
Come
people.
down the ring, beat the crap out of him, leave.
That's it.
Imagine if you ever had an Ultimate Warrior versus Brock Lesnar match. Think about that one. I always thought of that. Who would win? In any event, their next match they was the buildup of Bobby Heenan selling the contract of Hercules to DiBiase, and I didn't like how they put it. His slave.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, what is
Just
this? What
fun.
is this crap?
It's a little, and then Virgil's like right next to him as he's saying this. It's like,
Exactly.
just the optics. It's just bad. Watching
And
it
then
now. I mean, I don't know at the time. I mean, I don't
at
know
the
what the
time
time was.
we were kids, we were just
Kids,
watching it. It
yeah,
didn't
you're not
matter.
really thinking about, but watching it now, I'm like, I don't know about
And then in the interview with DiBiase, he goes, "No, I'm not going to get my hands on him. My henchman's going to get us." And even Virgil looked at him like,
that. Yeah.
"Excuse me." It's like
I think this is the first time I remember Virgil wrestling. Like I think, like,
yeah, he didn't really do it too much. This
yeah,
was he barely did it until he left DiBiase.
right, right, right,
He was
right.
actually pretty good at it. A lot of
It
people don't
wasn't
give him
bad.
credit for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't put
it wasn't
I
terrible.
wouldn't put an intercontinental
Yeah.
title on him, but I mean, he was good. 3 minutes 20 seconds. These matches were very short, which is one of the things that aggravated me because this card was really good, or could have
Oh,
been.
on paper, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
on
good.
paper, this card was stacked,
Yeah.
and to me, I think they spent more time doing interviews,
The promos, yeah, it was a lot of promos, yeah.
including a Brother Love show, which we'll get to in a little
Mm.
bit. But yeah, there was a lot of promos, and they didn't focus on the matches as much. I mean, this match was 3 minutes 20 seconds. Hercules just obliterates Virgil, and
Well, the whole thing we didn't even mention it. The whole thing was that the Bobby Heenan, man, he screwed over Hercules, and he sold the contract to
the
DiBiase.
DiBiase.
DiBiase was like, "Oh, I have my lawyers review it," and he's
Oh yeah, because Ventura's like,
yeah,
my staff, my cracks, investigators say that you really do
yeah,
have him legit. And this was the match that if Hercules lost, he would be
yeah.
DiBiase. But obviously, he beats Virgil.
It was
Hercules is
just
now turned over as a babyface,
babyface, yeah,
which didn't really last too long.
yeah.
I liked him as a babyface. I thought he was cool.
He wasn't bad as a babyface. He was all right.
No, I mean, he handled WrestleMania 5 against Haku, WrestleMania
Yeah.
6 against Earthquake. I mean, he was pretty good. He was also good when they put him in Power and Glory. He was just underrated.
Hmm.
Our next match, I liked it, and it was to me it was just too short. But if you look at the two guys, it's just like today, if Vince was still in charge, he would never have this match. It was Macho Man Randy Savage defending the WWE title against Andre the Giant. Now, I don't know if you caught this, but when they interviewed Savage, you can again we've been saying the build up for the Mega Powers
Hmm.
exploding was well in hand, well has already started. But what he mentioned during this interview was, "Oh, Hulk Hogan beat Andre.
Yep.
I can beat
Yeah.
Andre." So it's like, okay, you're trying to compare yourself to him and do what he's done
Hmm.
to get on his level, bro. You don't need to do that. You're already above him right now. You're the champion.
Yeah, but he's
But
still kind of in the shadow. He's in the shadow of
un-
Hulkamania.
unfortunately, he
Yeah.
is, and I didn't think that I was right. We've commented on that in various episodes. And I mean, you look at Andre, who's 500 pounds. You look at Randy Savage, and you go, "Oh my God, how is he going to win this match?" Savage handled himself really well in
Yeah.
this match, and I especially love when Jake the Snake Roberts came down, and he kind of looked like that heel outfit that you
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
see a few years later. And he puts the snake down there, and Savage is in his face, going, "No, brother, let me do this." He whispers in his ear to tell him that the snake is under the ring. And of course, Andre's got Bobby looking for the snake.
Well, yeah, because the ref was trying to get rid of Jake,
Yeah,
and then
and
Macho Man
even
was
see,
talking to him.
and Savage was trying to get rid
He
of
was
him
like,
too.
yeah. Well, he didn't. I think he didn't want to get DQ'd. I think he was worried he was going to get DQ'd.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, towards the end of the match, they wind up throwing out a double DQ, which didn't make any sense because Heenan got came in just because he came into the ring.
That
The
it
referee
automatically
automatically
rang the
rang the
bell.
bell, and Jake comes back down. They've got the snake and whatever. Savage is letting them coming in the ring, and every time I see these two guys, even though it's not 1991 yet, I'm just like, oh man, what the feud you guys are going to have?
Yeah. I mean, they
Because
had a feud too when he was the IC champion.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
briefly,
it's
because
just
then
well,
Jake
yeah,
turned. Because then
Jake
Jake.
turned. He turned
Yeah.
babyface.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't compare to the one later on, but I thought that was cool. This was a double disqualification, so Savage still hasn't gotten the win over Andre, but this would pretty much be one of Andre's last title matches of him being in the main event because this is where I
Yeah.
saw his decline was coming.
Yeah. It was nice to see him on a Saturday Night's Main Event in a spot like that.
Hmm.
In a title match. That was pretty cool. Because then he was talking about how he was. Everyone knows I'm really the champion. Prior to when he was cutting the promo, and I used to always love that spot as a kid when he used to tie himself up in the ropes.
Oh
It was
yeah,
always funny. I used to
definitely.
always laugh when I saw that
That
as a
that
kid.
that's how you got
Yeah.
Andre. That's how
Um,
you were able to beat him down. Jake did
you
it
know,
at
it was
WrestleMania 5.
it was interesting. I don't know if you caught this. Like Vince was like kind of talking bad about Jake, saying, "Oh, Jake didn't need to come out there," and then Jesse was defending like Macho Man with Jake. It was kind of weird. And I'm like, are they
It was weird.
foreshadowing? Like, 'cause he didn't need Jake the Snake to come. I don't know, because Jesse still supported Macho Man even though he was a babyface. He still
Yeah.
supported him because he was like, I always liked this guy because he had mentioned on another Saturday Night's Main Event like I always liked this guy before even you know. So it was
Well,
cool.
this was kind of like this was kind of the start of the turn after Survivor
Yeah, it
Series
was.
with
Yeah,
this one.
it was little by little. Yeah. Um,
And of course, he's still saying that, Elizabeth, the mega power manager and whatnot. And I loved Savage on that run in '88. I just didn't like the shadow
yeah,
bit, man. I
unfortunately.
think with Hogan, it just didn't make any sense. So our next match was another short one. This was a flag match between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Boris Zukov. And the winner would have their flag uh, fly over the arena. 2.5 minutes. Duggan gets the victory over Zukov. I mean, we've seen some good flag matches. This wasn't one of them.
Yeah, it was a stinker.
It was very fast because they needed to get the next segment in. So Hacksaw wins. Old Glory is flying high. Ventura's telling Vince, "I see tears in your eyes." So I thought that was funny, and for Duggan, that was good. I love how they when they're interviewing him, like, well, what about Dino Bravo's flag? He goes, whatever. He goes, I don't care, and I'm like, don't
No,
disrespect their flags, bro. Don't do it. But it was an alright match.
yeah, it wasn't bad.
I love the next segment because every time this putz came out, you knew something was gonna happen with the Brother Love show, Bruce Pritchard. The segment of they showed where Big Boss Man had beaten down Hogan prior to this, handcuffed him to the rail, and so now
Yeah.
with Boss Man obviously is not there. Brother Love's guest was Hulk Hogan, but he brought Slick out instead.
You know
And of
what's
course,
funny?
Hogan's getting all mad. Good.
You know what's funny? Real quick, back then, like with when the baby faces, when you have the heel baby face turn, it was like if somebody's a heel and they become a baby face, like they just automatically become friends with all the baby faces. Like
Exactly.
even if they had beef or something bad happened, it's like they forget about it. It's like Boss Man gave him a beating and everything, and then when he turns baby face, he's in Hogan's
2 years
corner.
later, yeah.
He's in Hogan's corner, and it's like then that never happened. They used to do that all the time. If somebody turned baby face, they
How
auto
about Savage and DiBiase? When Savage
yeah, it's
won the
like
crown, DiBiase gave him the crown, and I'm like, dude, you guys just like a year ago had a knockdown drag
yeah, it
out,
doesn't.
and
It's just that's just the way that it went, you
it's just
know.
weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Once you turn heel, you're
yeah,
automatically in with them, and once you turn
and that's
babyface,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever we did to each other, brother,
That's all
we
right.
put it in the past.
We're all best friends now. I love Slickster, man. Slickster is very underrated as a manager.
Yes, definitely.
You know what's funny about Slick, man? That guy's tall, man. He's like 6'4", and like for a
Yeah,
manager, that's strange because you know the managers were always a lot shorter. The wrestlers look a lot bigger than the manager for the most part, I would say. And they used to bill Slick as like 5'11" because they didn't want people to think, oh, he's so big. But looking at him, you know, you can see how tall he is. I mean, he's lanky, but
yeah.
you can see he's the same height as Hogan.
Oh,
You know, and I'm like, I don't know. I just think it's funny just to mention it. Like the guy he was tall.
yeah. Well, because you look at Bobby Heenan, you look at Jimmy Hart, and you look
Yeah.
at Mr. Fuji, you got a couple of munchkins there.
Yeah.
Then you got Slick. You know, you
Yeah.
even see it at I think it was at Survivor Series where Slick and Heenan are standing next to each other, and it's kind of like this.
hmm
So yeah, you could see the difference in
hmm
it. So yeah, Brother Love brings him out. Hogan gets all pissed off, comes out there. Brother Love won't let him talk, and that's the usual Brother Love thing. If you watch Superstars or Wrestling Challenge back then, and Brother Love had a baby face guest, this is what he would do to them. So I mean, I always loved when Brother Love got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
To me, that was the
Yeah.
highlight of the
Brother
thing.
Love was good, man. He was a troll. Like
He
he was
was.
good at getting underneath people's skin, man. He was funny. I always liked when he used to come. I used to always impersonate him. I love you.
I remember
He was doing that.
when I go ahead.
No, he was doing like that back in the days. Enough people remember this. There was televangelicals were very, very big, like in the
Oh
80s.
yeah, yeah.
So that was the shtick that he was doing, that he was a televangelist. So
Yeah, his face is all red like he's gonna have a heart
yeah,
attack, and he's got all that cheap gold, and Hogan referenced the cheap
yeah.
gold too.
Let me tell you something.
Yep, takes the microphone. Eventually, he beats the crap out of him. He handcuffs him to the rope.
Yeah,
Like, how do you like it? Looked like Brother Love was kind of hurting there in the shoulder when he was
yeah,
hanging, but oh well, that's his problem.
yeah. I like how Jesse was like, you see, Hogan's nothing but a bully.
Of course,
Yeah.
those two never liked each other, and they don't even like each other now.
Well, for other reasons now, though.
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, I got it. And then, of course, our main event. Oh boy, the Young Stallions who were getting booed in this match. Actually, both teams were getting booed. I don't even think the crowd was into this one. Young Stallions against the Fabulous Rougeau brothers, who had a special
Mhm.
announcement
Yes.
to give only to Jesse Ventura
hmm
that they
Exclusive.
were moving to the United States to Memphis.
They were gonna be all American boys. Like
Their theme was catchy though. I'll
it
give you
was.
that.
No, dude,
I liked it.
I
I
love
liked
that
it.
theme, man.
We don't like heavy metal. We
Yeah,
don't like. Yeah, I love that. I thought they were like.
they
I
were funny.
didn't
They were
like.
funny.
Yeah, it was just something about them. And then of course, they had the rocker syndrome with the tag titles that never existed at one point as well. Which I could never see the tag titles being put on them. But hey, whatever. But this match was again another short one. The Rougeaus get the win over the Young Stallions,
Yeah.
who at this point
Our boy
WWE's given up on them.
our boy Paul Roma. They just, you know what it is? I love this drop kick, man. I don't care what anybody says. Paul Roma has one of the best drop kicks you're ever gonna see.
Oh yeah,
And the problem was they got kind of like lost in the shuffle during that tag team era because they had like you think about it, they had like a similar look to like Strike Force. Before that, you had the Can-Am Connection, and
mm-hmm.
then even the Heart Foundation. It was like they had a similar like tanned guys with dark brown, black hair. Like it was just they didn't stand
and they
out.
were also high flyers. And then you got the
Yeah,
Rockers that came in.
rocker. They just they didn't stand out unfortunately because I thought they were a fine tag team. They weren't bad.
So they went from main eventing the Rumble, which I mean, it wasn't saying much that
Well,
year because it was on USA Network,
mm,
to just being like on Saturday Night Main Event and being not booed, just the crowd just wasn't into it.
yeah, yeah,
And if you're not being cheered and you're not being booed, like Christian had always said in WWE, if you're not getting either or, you're not doing your job.
yep, exactly.
And in this point, they just weren't getting anything from the crowd
Yeah.
except running to the exit. So Yeah, the Fabulous Rougeos were got the win on this one. Of course, they'd eventually be starting a feud with the Hart Foundation, which those two did. I will say they brought the best out in each other.
They did. They did.
So I
Yeah.
will give them that. But otherwise, Mountie over there and Ray,
I like the Rougeaus, man. I don't care. I think they only. I think what happened was the Jacques. Wait, I get the names confused sometimes.
Jacques was the Mountie.
Jacques was the money. So it was
Yeah,
Raymond. I think Raymond gets like an injury. That's why he has to go into commentary. I think I could be wrong.
yeah. And then Jacques wound up going into singles
Yeah. And
competition,
then
and
he did great
eventually they put him
things.
back with the Quebecers. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
did great things.
he did.
You
I
know.
like the Mountie
Yeah.
character. I thought it was
Oh, the
pretty
money was
cool.
great. The money was
Even the
great.
Quebecers was cool,
Yeah. Definitely,
but
definitely.
just not given a chance
Yeah.
though.
This
That's
so I mean, this was a good Saturday Night's main event. It could have been better, on paper. But I thought it was bad. It was fine. I'm not. It was bad. I thought it was fine. It wasn't
average.
too many promos. Then they have a promo at the end. They
Exactly.
have
Oh,
more
they had
promos at the
several
end.
interviews. You
Yeah,
had
it's just like
Hogan, you had Andre, you had
just too much.
Jake.
Too much talking. Too much talking.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys, let us know what you think. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.